Please start meditation.
We are very happy today because we have very special guest amidst us, Dr. Gopal Lal sir, who is the director of NAM, Mr. Ramesh sir, program coordinator for this foundation course. Around 107 young research agricultural scientists who have come across India from 22 states. Today we welcome you all the young boys and girls. They have a lot of questions for you.
Well, it's an opportunity for me to thank everyone who are present, especially the young scientists from the agricultural field, and especially Sri Dr. Gopal Lal, Director of NAM. Namaste, sir, to you. And my namaste to Dr. Ramesh, Program Director, sir. Thank you. Such a joyful moment to see youngsters today, these days, getting interested in the field of agriculture. Before, hardly one or two individuals will pop up and say, I want to become an agriculturist. Now that interest has been kindled for whatever reason. I think we are going back to the roots slowly and steadily, and that's where the future is. Combining agriculture and spirituality. I think it's a rare gift. Ordinarily, a bhakta, a spiritual seeker, they have to try their best to attain a state of surrender. They do all kinds of things. They perform yoga asanas, pranayamas, bhajan, kirtan. Are also service oriented like seva, etc. To develop this bhava attitude, inner sentiment, to create some level of saranagati or surrender to the Lord. But imagine a farmer at any given moment is always surrendered to nature. I can confidently say, because I also hail from a farming community, you are absolutely surrendered to nature for rain, for sun, for good quality of soil, overall weather pattern. There is very little you can do, very little except for fertilizer and other techniques. What else can you do? Your effort is very minimal. Rest of the work is done by nature. Surrender is built in. It comes with our DNA, especially in the farming community. And spirituality also demands a level of surrender, level of bhakti, level of trust. So I welcome whenever an individual comes to this ashram. I get overjoyed when they say I'm from the agriculture background. It resonates personally with myself. At the same time, they have greater potential than any other individuals coming from any other field. But they know their inner bent is already towards this surrender. And another feature I see, especially when you are experimenting, For example, the effect of biochar coal, how to make biochar coal, how to combine various microorganisms with biochar coal. Also conduct studies by combining seaweed extract with biochar coal. Various combinations, multiple combinations, all natural, all organic, and see what happens to the growth of a plant. Dheeraj, dhairya is required. No other profession demands so much of patience and dhairya. You have to sometimes wait. If it's an ordinary crop or a leafy vegetable, minimum 3-4 months. And if it's a fruiting plant that you have modified through tissue culture or even grafted, that also takes 3-4 years. So imagine the amount of dhairya required in researching in the field of agriculture. At the same time, the dhairya that is also required in spirituality. So there is a lot of parallelism within these two fields. Having said that, once again, I thank everyone for joining us, and especially these 107 scientists. Though this is spiritual organization, we at our heart would like to change the economical status of our village folks. Not only village folks, but also people who are in the cities. How to even cultivate vegetables, salads, things like that through hydroponic activities on your balconies, on your terraces, where there is less availability of soil. Something that you can grow within 200 square feet, which you cannot even grow in 1 acre of land. So such things are also being taught here. Hydroponics is one of them. Tissue culture is another them. Various experiments are also going on with varied combinations of biochar and other things which I already mentioned to you. With your help, I'm sure we can take this much further, much ahead. I would be needing your inputs whenever you come across any breakthroughs and you know that this is a wonderful thing and you like us to experiment. You can share your ideas to our sister, with our sister, Dr. Nivedita, and she will take up that particular research or your suggestion. Fortunately, we have also received university status under the name HARI, HARI, and the very first program that we are starting, and can you imagine what that program is? Agriculture. Next one that was in my mind was training teachers, but unfortunately we are too late for that. So we are starting, and it's an auspicious beginning for us because it's very close to my heart. Now I invite any questions that you may have.
Myself, I'm Dr. Nandakumar. I'm from Mysore. My question is, you are basically a pharmacist by educations, and how your life turned from pharmacist life to this spiritual life, and how you realize the importance of spirituality. And the second question is, whenever we deviate from our normal life, our surrounding environment and peoples, many of the times it will be discouraging, many of the times it will be supportive. So when you started believing in spirituality in the early life, was the environment and the people surrounded by you, was they were supportive or discouraged? Thank you.
Let me put it this way. Was the environment when Lord Ramachandra of Ayodhya was there, was it conducive environment? Was it really Ramarajya? Even the Lord, he had so many difficulties. Someone abducted his wife. It has not happened to our wives. We are living in better times than Ramchandra's life. Atmosphere, the environment is very conducive. It has always been conducive for spirituality. It depends where your interest is. One has to become really crazy for it. Having good environment, like this ashram also. Many people go astray. Do you think everybody present here, they are saints? No. You could be living in the most awkward environment and yet turn out to be a sage or a saint, and you can lead a spiritual life. It depends on each individual. See, when it comes to spirituality, there are no limitations. We are all scientists. And I like that spiritual approach should also be it should be approached with a scientific mind who is dissecting various aspects of spirituality. Don't take it as a belief with a trust. Prove it that I can trust this method. Prove it that this guide is good, worthy enough to follow. Read the philosophy and see it makes sense not only to your heart, but also to your mind with logic. But all these factors should come into it. But most important, when you do practice like a scientist, when you meditate, see what happens to you in your heart. Make your heart a laboratory. How are we going to taste the effect of meditation? Do you have any parameters? How are you going to measure it? Is there a machine that can measure the growth, the spiritual growth? Only your heart can tell you that, see. And let me give you the most awkward example. If you are asked to go to a mosque and meditate there, versus if you are asked to go to a church and go and meditate there, or go to a temple of Hanuman and meditate there, or a Lakshmi, your reactions will be different. These are all 4 or 5 different environments. Our reaction to this environment is not based on outside. It depends on how you were indoctrinated from your childhood, your parental influence, your societal influence, your personal beliefs, the books you read, the TV shows you see, the news you read, they all influence your inner. Now, when you have created so much of complexities around you, within you, how are you going to make the correct decision? First thing would be, let me get rid of all this preconditioning that I have, and then meditate and see. Oh, I'm a believer of Krishna, for example, or I'm a believer of Lord Christ, and whenever I meditate, I must see him. And if Shiva comes to my vision, I must say, no, please don't come now. This prejudice will hurt you in the spiritual progress. So, the first and foremost requirement whenever we meditate is very simple. By God, I don't even know if you are there. Are you sure He's there? None of us know. We have assumed He's there. But if, my Lord, if you are there, let me experience your presence. Start with this. So whenever we close our eyes and meditate, wait patiently without any predetermined goal that he should look like this or he should look like that, and I must have darshan only if he comes in the form of Hanumanji. People forget Hanumanji was also a bhakta. People also forget when Lord Jesus was meditating on the bank of a river and he was meditating in deserts. Shiva, Lord Shiva meditating on Kailash. Krishna meditating just before Mahabharata war broke out. These are all avatar Purushas. Do you question then? Where is the need for meditation for such personalities? If they were meditating, fundamental question would be upon whom are they meditating? What is the lack that motivates them to fulfill that lack by meditation? If they were needing it, are we superior to them and shun this meditation? So environment will just be an excuse that I am not able to meditate because. Only today I was listening to some of our friends talking that if you are a lover of birds and you are meditating here in the early morning in this hall versus those who cannot even tolerate a simple chirping of a bird, and if you are meditating here, both will have a different response. One will say, wow, there are so many birds singing, there is nature, there is divinity, there is purity. The other fellow will say, it's so much of noise. Corruption may be outside, noise may be outside. Other people with evil tendencies may be also outside. But why must you be bothered? Lord is in your heart. That should be enough. Enough to create that inner environment. Make your own little island. Enjoy your inner space. And that's what meditation is all about. Of course, having such a pure-hearted or having such a beautiful inner environment, and also if there is outside that is resonating, one has to remind oneself this is very dangerous. You might be wondering why I am saying so. Because you take things for granted, see, that in such beautiful, serene environment, things will happen automatically. This taken for granted attitude spoils everything. I have also noticed when I was in US that environment for me was just perfect. There was a lot of moments where it would go against our spiritual interests. It was like lifting weights. If you can lift weights, 1 kilo, 2 kilos, subsequently maybe 20 kilos, 30 kilos, more the resistance that you face on a daily basis in a regular fashion, your muscles will become stronger. Your moral strength will also increase once you see external resistance. It depends on you. One might say, oh, I don't want to lift weights. Why should I trouble myself? Then you will not build muscles. So this is what I have to share with you. That please do not blame the external environment. Create interest in yourself for yourself. Rest of the things will fall in place. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Sushmita. Sir, my question was what is the future agriculture? What would be the?
Wow. Such question I should be asking you, the scientist. But what I see, the productivity. Crops will be the same. Productivity will change. Ways and means by which we are cultivating things will be more refined and more accurate. Just as, once we were saying it has to be only the fertile soil. But now with technology, we are able to change the soil conditions. For example, it's easy to change pH. It is easy to, do so many manipulations. If the soil is lacking nitrogen, we are able to provide it externally. See? We are able to manipulate all these things. Hydroponics to me is the next game that is going to happen, that is going to change everything. People often say that hybrid things are bad. It's an arguable statement. Let's not call it bad, because even when you drink milk and it gives you diarrhea, does milk become a bad thing for you? No, it's simple that you're not able to digest it. Some people say this is hybrid wheat and it's causing me problem because there's a lot of gluten in it. Don't blame that. Blame your incapacities to digest certain things. In nature, evolution happens at its own rhythm. When I had to change certain production of, let's see, brinjal or okra, I can manipulate genes, genetically modified stuff can be created. Now, for nature to increase productivity, for nature to create varieties of brinjals or okra that will be resistant to certain organisms, it can take years. But with scientific approach, we can interfere and create hybrid varieties, which otherwise would have taken thousands of years. But since new variety that would have taken 1,000 years and you are able to produce it in 2 years, but you are not used to that future product which is now available in 2 years, your body is not able to adjust with it. Don't blame the hybrid. Get used to it. Productivity, the yield is only going to increase through human support, through human interference. So do not think that GMO is against the human beings. It is really not. 1% of human being may have side effect. Don't blame it. Every drug that is being manufactured, without an exception, has some level of side effects. Take it as needed. We don't fight and say, oh, when I take ibuprofen, it upsets my stomach. But don't you want to get rid of your pain? And if you want to get rid of the pain and not allowing your stomach to get upset, take it after you take foods, or drink it with milk, or take it with antacids. But there are ways and means. Likewise, hybrid products also needs to do a lot of research how to make it more palatable to human consumption. Instead of taking agenda and say GMO is bad, try to find ways and means so that it can be more easily be acceptable. Say, I I have not much thought about all this, but as I'm speaking, new ideas are popping. But if you meditate, all of you, on this particular topic, the future of agriculture, I'm sure my Guruji Maharaj will guide you from inside and say, okay, do this, do this, do this. And be sure, I can tell you with a lot of confidence that he will listen to every word that you are asking. Thank you.